The New Me by Halle Butler is a darkly comedic and highly unsettling exploration of modern discontent, loneliness, and the search for purpose in a world that often feels indifferent to our struggles. The novel follows the life of Millie, a woman in her late 20s who works a dead-end office job and is in the midst of a personal crisis. The book delves into her inner life, exposing her dissatisfaction with her job, relationships, and the unfulfilled dreams she has of a more meaningful existence. From the very beginning, we are introduced to Millie's life, which feels stagnant and disconnected from the world around her. She is unable to form meaningful connections with others, and her interactions, even with people she works with, are awkward and strained. The novel captures the essence of the modern-day existential crisis. How, in a world that promises so much, we often feel unimportant, unnoticed, and stuck. This sense of emptiness drives Millie to repeatedly fantasize about becoming the new me, someone more confident, successful, and independent, but she struggles to take the necessary steps to make any real changes. The novel's writing style reflects Millie's mindset, fragmented, introspective, and at times erratic. It's as though we are given direct access to her thoughts, which are filled with anxiety, self-doubt, and self-criticism. Millie's internal monologue is compelling because it's so raw and honest, yet it's also difficult to connect with at times, as her negativity and self-absorption can make her come across as deeply unlikable. However, it is this very unlikability that makes her character feel real. Butler doesn't try to make Millie sympathetic or relatable. Instead, she invites the reader to witness a life that feels broken and chaotic, offering an honest portrayal of the struggle many of us face in our daily lives. One of the key themes in The New Me is the tension between expectation and reality. Millie is constantly comparing herself to the idealized version of what she thinks she should be, someone who has it all together, who is in control of her life. The more she compares herself to this version, the more she feels inadequate. This struggle reflects a larger societal issue, where social media and cultural pressures often force us to present a version of ourselves that is far removed from our true, vulnerable selves. Millie's journey is a stark reminder of the dangers of comparison, as it only deepens her feelings of alienation and dissatisfaction. Another important theme in the novel is the absurdity of modern life and the disconnection that many people feel from the systems and structures around them. Millie works in a call center, a job that provides no real purpose or fulfillment. She feels trapped, but her attempts to break free from her own apathy often lead her in circles. The monotony of her work and the repetitive nature of her daily routines symbolize how so many people feel locked into lives that offer little more than survival. The novel paints a picture of the modern world as one that is largely indifferent to individual happiness or success, where finding meaning requires active engagement. But this engagement often feels like an impossible task. Butler also explores how our personal and professional lives intersect. Millie's relationships are shallow, and her romantic life is equally dissatisfying. Her lack of connection with others reflects her inability to connect with herself. She's lost, and her quest for a better version of herself feels more like a fantasy than a goal. This creates a deep sense of frustration, as we watch Millie struggle against herself and her circumstances, without finding a way out. What makes The New Me so engaging is how it takes these bleak themes and infuses them with dark humor. The novel is at once a meditation on modern existential crises and a biting satire of contemporary life. Butler's writing is sharp and witty, and though the story can feel uncomfortable, it's this discomfort that makes it powerful. The story doesn't offer easy answers, but instead forces readers to confront the reality of living in a world where meaning is often hard to find, and self-improvement can feel like an endless struggle. At times, the pacing of the novel may feel slow or repetitive, but that's part of its charm. The monotony of Millie's life is reflected in the book's structure, which mirrors her emotional stagnation. However, this slow pacing also allows for a more nuanced exploration of her inner world and how it shifts, albeit subtly, throughout the book. The New Me isn't a book that will offer you a quick fix or a neat resolution. Instead, it's a book that will leave you reflecting on the nature of dissatisfaction, self-improvement, and the loneliness that can accompany the search for meaning. It's a reminder that sometimes The hardest journey we face is not external but internal, learning to accept and understand ourselves in a world that is indifferent to our struggles. To sum up, The New Me by Halle Butler is a raw, thought-provoking novel that dives deep into the psyche of its protagonist, offering a candid look at modern life's discontents. The book's honest portrayal of a woman stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and societal pressure is a powerful commentary on the struggle for meaning in an indifferent world. It's a novel that doesn't shy away from the uncomfortable realities of existence, and in doing so, it forces the reader to consider their own lives and what it means to truly live authentically. I would love to hear your thoughts on The New Me. Do you relate to Millie's struggles? How do you navigate the tension between who you are and who you feel you should be? Please share your comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more book reviews and insightful discussions. Remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more interesting book reviews. See you in the next video.